In this video, you'll learn how to make a table fit on one page in Google Docs. If you've ever created a table that spills over onto a second page, cuts off at the bottom, or just looks a bit too large, this walkthrough will help you clean it up so everything fits neatly on a single page. First, open your Google Docs document and scroll to the table you want to adjust. Click anywhere inside the table to select a cell. Then, to work with the entire table, drag your mouse across all the cells, or use your cursor to highlight the whole table. You'll know it's selected when all the cells are shaded or outlined depending on your current theme. Taking a moment to be sure the full table is selected is important because any changes you make will then apply consistently across all rows and columns, keeping the layout balanced. Now, the main goal is to make that table more compact so it fits on one page, and there are a few simple ways to do this. The first option is to reduce the row height. Hover your mouse over the line between two rows until you see the double-sided arrow cursor, then click and drag that line upward to make the rows shorter. Do this gradually so the text inside each cell still feels readable and not overly cramped. If your table has lots of empty space in each row, reducing the row height is usually the quickest way to save space on the page. Next, you can adjust the column width. This is especially useful if you have columns that don't need to be very wide, such as ones holding short labels, numbers, or yes or no entries. Move your cursor to the line between two columns in the header area until the double-sided arrow appears, then click and drag to narrow the column. As you shrink one column, the table as a whole becomes more compact horizontally, and the content may wrap onto multiple lines within each cell, which can help the table take up less vertical space overall. Again, make these changes slowly so you can see how the text adjusts, and avoid making columns so narrow that the content becomes hard to scan. Another effective way to get your table onto a single page is to reduce the font size inside the table. With the entire table still selected, go up to the toolbar and click the font size drop-down. Try decreasing the size by 1 or 2 points at a time, then check how much space you've saved. Often, a small reduction in font size is enough to bring the last few rows back onto the first page without sacrificing legibility. You can combine this with slight adjustments to row height and column width for a more polished result. As you make these changes, keep an eye on the page break in your document. Scroll or zoom out if needed so you can see where the table starts and ends relative to the page. Your goal is to have the entire table visible between the top and bottom margins, with no rows breaking awkwardly across pages. Once you're happy with the size, take a final pass through the table. Make sure the text is still easy to read, the columns are wide enough for their content, and the table looks balanced on the page. A neatly resized table not only fits on one page, but also makes your document look more professional and easier to understand.